Hello students, welcome to this session. In this session we will start a new chapter from class 10 physics, that is electricity. Students, this chapter is very important chapter and interesting chapter. Why I am telling so? Because the concept you will get from this chapter, it has actually the practical applicable, means the knowledge what you will get from this chapter, you will apply this knowledge in your practical life, means in your daily life activities. Why I am telling so? Because you know that our house, what many instruments we keep, and all the instruments, whether it is a fridge or a washing machine or an oven or a sound system, a TV, all the instruments run by electricity. Even you are watching this video through this mobile, that also runs by electricity. So that is why this knowledge will helpful for a little bit repairment or to know about the mechanism of running of this instrument. So students, let's start this chapter, that is electricity. So the first question comes, what is electricity? So I can say that electricity is a form of energy. So different forms of energy are there. So electricity is also a form of energy. It is a convenient form of energy. Why I am telling convenient? Because it is the most easy form of energy which we can use, and that's why we have so many instruments which run by electricity. So I can define as that it is a convenient form of energy. So in this session actually we'll consider only two topics we'll discuss. One is electric charge and another is electric current. So first of all we'll read what is electric charge. You know that students, by different experiments we have find out there are two types of charges, and one is positive charge and negative charge. So two types of charges are there. We have got it by different experiments, and one is positive charge and the second one is negative charge. You know the positive charge is sometimes written as plus Be shortly, and it is written minus Be. So two types of charges are there, positive and negative. And this charge, electric charge, it is a scalar quantity. It is a scalar quantity. You know, we have read about the scalar quantity and vector quantity in standard 9. That scalar quantity is a quantity which has only magnitude, no direction. So no direction is there, that's why it is electric charge is a scalar quantity, but it is magnitude, and to measure that magnitude you have to express in some unit. So the SI unit of electric charge is Coulomb, C-O-U-L-O-M-B. Coulomb is actually the word Coulomb was named after a scientist Coulomb, and which is also symbolically written as capital C. So Coulomb can be represented by letter C, which will be capital, and this is the SI unit, standard unit of electric charge. And also the electric charge, it is also denoted by Q, capital Q. You know the Q is the symbolically representation of electric charge. So electric charge can be symbolized by letter Q, whereas Coulomb can be represented through a symbol capital C. Coulomb is the SI unit of electric charge. So this Coulomb normally we use expressing the different charges. You know that in standard 9 we have read that there are three subatomic particles present inside an atom. One is electron, proton and neutron. Electron is negatively charged particle, whereas proton is positively charged particle. And if you remember the charge of an electron, that is minus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. We are using that coulomb in that. So here one question normally asked that how many electrons make 1 coulomb charge. You know that definitely electron is negatively charged particles. Okay, the charge will be negative. So when the we'll combine the charge of many electrons, then obviously the charge will be negative. Here we are taking only the magnitude. Okay, so the plus minus we are not taking. So if question comes how many electrons make 1 coulomb, what will be the answer? So to find out it, what you have to do? So you have to find out the electron charge. We know the charge of an electron is minus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. And you have to find out the number of electrons in 1 coulomb charge. So if you want to find out the how many electrons will make 1 coulomb, so what you have to do? We have to divide 1 by minus. Why I am doing so? Because this minus, this is the 1 coulomb. Okay. So as the minus will cancel, CC will also cancel. So what will be? That 1 divided by 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. And if we simplify it, so it will be 10 to the power 19 by 1.6 implies 10 to the power 19 by, if you divide it, then it becomes 16 by 10. And if it will go up, then it will be 10 by 16. And if you divide it, 10 divided by 16, we can divide by 2, 8, and 5 by 8 will be 0.86, 48, 20, 8 to the 16, 5 into 10 to the power 19. And if you make it scientific notation, so this will go to this one, so 6.25 into 10 to the power. If you know that if we'll make this one, you have to multiply 10 here and you have to divide, so it will be this will be the answer. That 6.25 into 10 to the power 18 number of electrons will make 1 coulomb charge. So you know that charge of an electron is very less. So 1 coulomb charge is very much in amount in comparison to charge of an electron. Okay. So next we'll proceed. What is electric current? So students, will next thing we'll read, that is electric current. So before this one, we have already heard some related word with this current, that we have heard. You have heard student about the air current, water current. You know what is air current actually? Air current means movement of air from one place to another. That we call it as air current. Similarly, in a river, water flows with a speed or from one place to another. That movement of water, the flow of water, is called as water current. Then actually, what is electric current? What things will flow in electric current? Actually, electric current is similar like that air current and water current. Here the movement of charge takes place. So when the flow of charge takes place, then we can say there is a current. So simply I can tell that current is the flow of charges. Then question is there, how this current actually flows. For example, you know that if you make the switch on, okay, in a metallic conductor, where is there in your house, and when you make the switch on, the fan starts to rotate. So what happens, if when you make the switch on, actually the charges starts to flow through that wire. So in that metallic conductor, so at that time I can say that when electric charge flows through a conductor, then I can say that there is a presence of current in that conductor. So a simple conductor has charges inside it, but there is no flow of charges actually. When you attach with a cell or a battery, then the current flows, means the charges starts to flow. So we'll discuss about when we'll read about electric potential actually. So if current is there in any metallic conductor, in a conductor, if current is there, then there must be the flow of charge inside it. Okay, so when flow of charges takes place, then we can say there is a presence of current in it. Then question comes, how can you express the current? So the current can be expressed by, as I told, the charges flow. When charges flow, then current exists. So I can say it can be, current can be, it is expressed by that when the amount of charge flowing through unit area of a conductor per unit time is called electric current. The amount of charge flowing through unit area of a conductor per unit time is called electric current. Means, so in a particular area of a conductor, how much charges is flowing for unit time, that is called as electric current. Or simply you can tell that the rate of flow of charges can be called as electric current. You know that in physics, whenever rate word is used, we compare with time. So how much amount of energy charges are flowing per unit time can be called as electric current. So if you write it mathematically, that so I can write that electric current, if you write in a mathematical way, so I can write electric current equal to quantity of charge flew through the conductor by time taken. How much time taken for the charges to flow through the particular area of a conductor. So that will be the formula for electric current. And you know that electric current is also denoted as the term, by a symbol I. Capital I is the symbol of electric current. As I have told, electric charge is symbolized by capital Q. Similarly, the symbol for electric current is capital I. So if you will write in formula, so what will be there, that if, for example, so if I will say that if Q amount of charge flows through unit area of a conductor in time t, then current I equal to amount of charge flowed Q by time taken t. So this is the formula, that I equal to Q by T, where I is amount of current, Q is the quantity of charge flows, and T is the time taken to flow the charge. So I equal to Q by T. So as I have told that it is denoted by, electric current is denoted by I, and there should be a unit by which we can measure the current. So the SI unit of electric current is ampere, which is also denoted as capital A. Capital A is the symbolized form of ampere. So ampere is the standard unit of electric current, and it can be denoted as capital A. So as I have told that this is the SI unit of electric current, that is ampere. So sometimes question is also asked, how can you define 1 ampere? So students, question is, what is ampere or define ampere? So whenever you will define 1 ampere, then you have to find out the formula first. You have to remember the formula first, and in that formula you have to put the SI unit. So that is, how can you define 1 ampere? You see that I equal to Q by T. That formula will be remembered by you, and in that formula what you will write? You write the SI unit of all the quantities. For example, that I is electric current. What is the SI unit? 1 ampere. So as I equal to Q by T, so I can write 1 ampere equal to, so Q is the charge and SI unit of charge is coulomb. So I can write 1 coulomb by T, time taken, and time SI unit is second. So I can write 1 second. So you see 1 ampere equal to 1 coulomb by 1 second, and you have to make sentence from this formula. You have to find out one sentence. How can you make? You see, as I have told that 1 coulomb is the quantity of charge flows through a conductor, and 1 coulomb is time taken for flowing of that charge. So what I will write here, that if you want to define 1 ampere, the sentence will be like this: if 1 coulomb charge flows through an area of a conductor in time, in 1 second, here time is 1 second, in 1 second, then the electric current will be 1 ampere. So if any SI unit, you have to define any SI unit like 1 ampere you have to define, then first of all you have to find out what is the formula of I equal to Q by T, and I equal to Q by T. you have to put the SI unit of all these I, Q and T, that is 1 ampere equal to 1 coulomb by 1 second, and then you have to make sentence that if 1 coulomb charge flows through area of a conductor in 1 second, then the electric current will be 1 ampere. This is the definition of 1 ampere. So the SI unit of electric current is ampere, but sometimes we also use the smaller amount of current. So sometimes we use another unit, that is milliampere. It is written as small a, small m, capital A, and it will be 10 to the power minus 3 ampere. And sometimes also use microampere, and the symbol is like this. Micro symbol is like this, and it is 10 to the power minus 6 ampere, that is microampere. So very little when we use small units, we use microampere and milliampere. Then we'll read about the direction of electric current. Direction of electric current. You know that electric current is a vector quantity. So we have read before that electric charge. Electric charge is a scalar quantity. It has no direction, but electric current has a direction. So how to find out the direction of an electric current? You see, when electricity was first observed, at that time actually the electrons were not discovered. The structure of atom, what are the things present inside the atom, was not discovered when electricity was first observed. So at that time there is no concept of electrons. So hence the electric current, when we take the direction edge, the positive terminal to negative terminal, because at that time we thought that the charges which flow through the conductor is positive charge. The positive charges flow through a conductor, and we take the direction of flow of positive charge as the direction of current. Again I am repeating that before electrons were discovered, actually we have observed the electricity, and we have taken the direction of electric current as the direction of flow of positive charge. At that time the people they thought that the positive charge actually flow through a conductor, which constitute the current. So as the positive charge flows, so normally you know that if you take a cell, and if it is connected through a switch, here we will take a switch here. When switch is on, you know that electric current starts to pass. The current actually passes from positive to negative. So we take the direction of electric current H. So here direction of current is from positive to negative terminal of cell. So this is the direction of current. But when electrons were discovered, then it was found that actually in an atom electrons are present in the outside, and electrons can come out from the atom, and actually electron flows in a conductor, not the positive charged proton. Proton is present inside the nucleus. Hence it was later found that actually electrons flow in a conductor, which constitute the current, and electron is negative charged particle. So later on it is found that electrons actually flows in a conductor, but we have already taken the direction of current as positive to negative. Hence this current is called as conventional current. We call as conventional current. So always the conventional current direction is positive to negative, whereas the flow of electron takes place from negative to positive terminal of a cell. It means if electron moves, the electron moves from negative to positive like this. It means, so if I'll show this with a different, like this is, so this is the flow of electron. This is the flow of electron and this is the flow of current. So current always flows from positive to negative terminal, whereas electrons flows from negative to positive, because it was later discovered. Hence we call this current as conventional current. So students, always remember the conventional current, the direction of conventional current is always from positive to negative terminal of the cell or battery in a circuit, and always electron flows the opposite direction of the current, that is from negative to positive terminal of a cell or battery. Okay, so this is the direction of electric current. Then we read about two instruments which is normally used to find out or to measure the electric current. One is, the instrument is ammeter. So ammeter, what is an ammeter actually? It is an instrument which is used to measure the amount of current. So current is measured through an instrument called ammeter, by which you can find out how much amount of current is present in the circuit, how much current is flowing through the conductor. And another instrument is there which is known as galvanometer. And this galvanometer, the instrument, is also used in the electric current. It is related to electric current, but its work is, it is an instrument which is used to detect the presence of current in the circuit. It means it does not measure the amount of current. If very small amount of current is present in the circuit or a conductor, then galvanometer is used whether current is present in that circuit or not. To detect that current, galvanometer is used. And also it is another application that it is used to find out the direction of electric current. If you want to find out the direction of electric current, then you have to use galvanometer. So galvanometer has two functions by which you can find out the presence of current inside the circuit, whether it is present or not, and also you can find out the direction of electric current. As I have told, the current is a vector quantity, is at a direction. So to find out the direction, we have to use galvanometer. Whereas the ammeter is an instrument which is used to find out the amount of electric current. Means how much ampere of current is flowing in a circuit, 5 ampere, 10 ampere. So amount of current, if you want to measure, then you have to use the ammeter. And if you want to find out whether a small amount of current is present in the circuit or not, or to find out the direction of current, we use another instrument, that is galvanometer. So this is all about the electric charge and electric current, and in the next session we will discuss the other important parts of the topics of the electricity. Till then, have a happy stay, and if you like this video, then definitely you subscribe it, like it, and also you can suggest, you can comment about this explanation of this video. Thank you very much.